Um, so I've got a couple more questions here. This is kind of a more broad question, kind of related to photographers. So, why should photographers consider adding camping into like their repertoire?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess and you said broad, but I'll narrow it down to outdoor photographers, especially, because
Mhm.
that's kind of like our target demographic, of course. So I would recommend it because, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this episode, it kind of gets you just right out in the middle of it, out in nature, and like you really, I mean, you could sleep in, and I have, of course, too. You can kind of just peek out, beyond your tent, and go like, it's gonna be a cloudy morning, probably won't be a sunrise. Not really the best factor. I'd say get out of your tent and check. But like I'm just saying, there's been some mornings where I do sleep in. But like it gets you out in the middle of the woods or the meadow or wherever you may be at, and like you really have no excuse to get out there and take photos. And like I mentioned earlier, like I think my most memorable morning out camping was there was just this dense fog, and I looked outside. I mean, and I was just peeked out of my tent. I think it was like 6 a.m. even, midsummer, I think, and it was just this dense fog that I could clearly tell was just going on. And I was just instantly put on my shoes, got my camera out, and started just hiking around. I didn't even pack up the tent. And I was hungry a little bit, and I just skipped breakfast for like, I think like 2 hours. And I started hiking around, taking photos. And like I said earlier, if I slept in at my house, I look outside and go, oh, cool fog. But I may, get to a cool location and it may dissipate. I've had that happen before actually a few times. But like when you're out in the middle of it, you have no excuse. You're out there. Like, and just that may be your main reason, like it is for the most part for me, is to like take photos out there and you can do it. And like it's right there. So I'd recommend that. I would also say like it's also just kind of, I feel like it immerses you a little bit more in nature. Not to get so like hippy dippy about it, but like it does make you feel more in tune with the bird song, the things you kind of hear at night. I guess with nocturnal wildlife, and it just gets you more familiar. I think with just the landscape and just getting more familiar with the gear. And I just feel like the whole experience is just really overall just kind of rounds out my appreciation of outdoors. And
Mhm.
like I said, I feel like I do get some better photographs, especially with sunrises, because I'm always like in a hurry. So like it does feel more calming, I guess, to just sit there and just enjoy it, and view it, right there in
Mhm.
front of you too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I know like looking out your window up at the sky, you're looking at quite the small window. When you're camping, you can walk around a bit, like you said, and really you might find some unique light poking through the clouds or something that you just would not see from your house. So.
And like I mentioned earlier, is like it's in a way it's a rite of passage because it's like especially a lot of these like metro parks that close at at dusk or at sunset, or they might only be open until 8 or 10 p.m. Like if you're there overnight, I mean, like what's stopping you from like walking around with your headlamp and taking some astro photos? Like especially if you're out in like a dark sky area, like there's just like a lot of options I think are really fun. And I just feel like the whole, like I said, like I keep saying, is like the whole experience overall is just really just fun. It's just something different. It's refreshing. And can't recommend it enough. I just say get some nice gear if you can, and just try it out and see what you think of it. You might not like it, and you might be more of like a day hiker and photographer, but like this might be more of your style too. So it's
Mhm.
worth trying out.